These webinars are only possible because of your continuous interest into these topics. So feel free to share the event using the link to the event using the QR code. Because we need more people to connect, and the more people we can benefit from this, from the knowledge we try to share. And let me also express my gratitude to SoBigData Research Infrastructure. Without them will not be possible the organization of these webinars. So thanks Valerio Grossi, Michele Natilli, and Roberto Trasarti for your incredible support in making everything run smoothly. So as you can see from the slide, we're going to focus on a very important sector, which is healthcare. But and also this time we have involved outstanding speakers for you. But before we jump in, let me briefly explain you the format, especially for those of you who are joining us for the first time this series. So in each of our webinars, so how does it work? We always involve 3 expert speakers representing different perspectives. So sometimes we have academics, other times we also involve data scientists, we involve managers, consulting people. So in order to give you, let's say, a well-rounded view of the topic. And each speaker has about 10 minutes to present. And after the presentation, we'll have 15-20 minutes for a Q&A session.
So let's go deeply with the first presentation, and we are very happy to introduce to you Roberto Trasarti.
So thank you, Maria Giulia. Thank you, Giulio. Thank you for the very complete curriculum vitae as presentation. And yes, so let me share the screen, and let me start a little bit, as Giulio said before, with a little bit of advertisement for the SoBigData project. This because in some way it will explain how we tackle from our point of view as a research infrastructure the topic of health in general, and more specifically in some subtopics. I hope that you see the slide in a correct way. Only to give you an idea of what is SoBigData as a research infrastructure, we are a distributed multidisciplinary infrastructure that aims on, let's say, understand the complexity of the society. So we are tackling social problems in order in a way that produce data set, methodologies, new technologies to model the reality, and in that way trying to simulate what is happening or what to predict what will be. At the moment, we are distributed over 14 countries. Italy is the coordinator of the current project that support the infrastructure, and we are active over a set of we call them research space. So topics, we consider them like boxes where we, let's say, put materials to be shared with other researchers or data analysts from companies or who can use it, let's say, to evolve their research, to move the research forward. One of these 8 research spaces is health study. Health study is, as I said, a container where we focus on specific studies regarding health. What we are doing, producing all those materials, all those resources in infrastructure. We are producing them because we really believe in the concept of open science, and we are trying to create a platform where people can go there, look for in our catalog, looking for, as I said before, dataset that are collected with collaboration with the industry or by a study or by a survey or let's say observational tools and sensors during a specific event or whatever. So we are trying to collect those information to provide them as much as possible in an open science paradigm to our users. Same for methodology that are built on top of those dataset or other dataset that can be again applied on the on a new dataset or to combine them in order to find new research. We provide also computational resources in order to do those kind of experiment, but one thing that probably it's very important and we care a lot is the fact that we are always taking into consideration the ethical and legal aspect of this process, which means that we have policies about access to data or to the creation of new sub-project that should, let's say, undergo, for example, a committee about the ethical impact, the ethical values and the legal aspect and the impact of what we are discovering or our user are discovering. So clearly what our users are researchers, but also people from industry, but also public bodies. So our user can come from different perspective, and we have different objectives clearly with depending on this kind of stakeholder. I don't want to lose so much time, but okay, there are many institutions around Europe that work together with us and many collaboration with companies all around Europe. But let's focus on the health research space. So here I want to give you only some, let's say, hint of what we are doing currently. Health research space, it's pretty new in the sense that this is one of the last research space created and is focusing on four main aspects, the four main, let's say, research line. Pharmaceutical data, in the sense that trying to use pharmaceutical data in order to find potential vaccine against bacterium or screening the sequence by screening the sequence of its entire repertoire of protein using machine learning. So applying the classical machine learning methodology that are developed in many years in this particular sector and trying to refine them using peculiarities of the data. So that's one of the research line that it's pretty active in between our collaboration and our consortia. Another one is about diagnosis and prevention. It's more about the idea of creating a way of giving a way of explaining the results that we obtain with machine learning and AI technologies to the doctor, in the sense that we don't want to produce black boxes, because as I said before, one of the ethical values that it's important is also the transparency, and in the other sense also the concept of trustability of an algorithm. It's really important, and the idea is that join together these two aspects is the explainability of artificial intelligence. And here, for example, the idea is that I don't need only the answer, but also a way to to explain why the algorithm arrived to that answer, in order to be more transparent to the patients, but also to improve the trust and confidence among the user, that in that case are doctors. Stop. Yes. Another research line is, for example, the personalized medicine and device, in the sense that we are trying to use generative AI enriched with wearable sensors. So data that come from wearable sensors. And because we want to address the critical gaps between the medical research and care, we want to make it not general, but using the general knowledge applied to the actual situation, the personalized situation of a single patient. And this, let's say, should create a sort of adaptive data knowledge management for a data-driven healthcare solution. It's complicated to put everything together, but I hope that you will be pushed to go and see what is there in detail. Another important aspect that research line is the data protection and data privacy. So a research line that involves the exchange of data from the point of view of security, of transferring of, let's say, health data, which can be patient data, both from the point of view of security, but also from the point of view of privacy, because okay, we have a certain level of security, but even if this is, let's say, hacked, how much the data is privacy preserving, how much we can reduce the damage, and this double way of checking the impact of a breach and or the stability of a system, it's very interesting and say very important to analyze. The last thing that I want to share with you is one example. For example, is a more detailed and practical example, which is NetMe, which is a sort of knowledge graph of biomedical data, which is constructed over PubMed Central and other sources, which give the possibility to the user to make query composed by genes, and or a disease, for example. And this knowledge graph can be navigated, and there is an algorithm that extracts the most relevant information over all the whole, let's say, the whole information in the knowledge graph, which is impossible at the moment made by human, let's say, because the knowledge is too big. And actually, this is something that we give can be accessible through the API of SoBigData, and we, let's say, give this tool to the researcher or doctor that want to find something clearly with as our service. I hope that I stayed in my 10 minutes.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Roberto. Thank you for your presentation. And if anyone has some question for Roberto, please feel free to write here in the chat. And at the end of this webinar, so when the last speaker finish its presentation, we will ask all the question to Roberto. So please feel free to write any question for him. So thank you once again, Roberto. Now let's see another point of view, the point of view of a data scientist who works in the hospital. So I'm very happy to introduce to you Fabio Liberti. Dr. Fabio Liberti has more than 24 years of experiences in the information system function of the Bambino Gesù, which is a pediatric hospital in Rome, if any one of you doesn't know. He has a bachelor degrees in political science and a master degree in economics, and then 3 second-level university master degree. So 1 in data intelligence and decision-making strategies, 1 in economics and management in healthcare, and then machine learning and big data in precision medicine and biomedical research. So currently, he's enrolled in the second year of a PhD in big data and artificial intelligence. He had multiple roles and positions in the field of information system and corporate strategical planning. So, Fabio, I hope this presentation, that you like this presentation. So thank you again for being with us today. What do you have prepared for today? Please feel free to share the slide.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation and the invitation. Thank you very much. It's perfect. Too much. Now I go to sharing my video, and can you see my presentation?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. My presentation is a rabbit watch on my figure in the hospital, and like you say, and for this one I have prepare some aspect of my work. Role of big data in healthcare. We know big data is revolutioning the healthcare industry, providing an essential tool to improve clinical decision making and personalized patient care. Thanks to the ability to collect, analyze, and use always more large quantity and huge volume of data, big data allows healthcare professionals to base decision on more solid and complete evidence, improving both the quality and efficiency of care. An example of this impact is predictive analytics, through which it is possible to suggest personalized treatment based on patient clinical heterogeneous history. The use of big data through the life cycle that include the collection, analysis, and application of information and subsequent decision translate into increasingly targeted healthcare based on the specificities of each individual and on the valorization of collective experience and collective knowledge. In short, big data represent the engine for a more efficient and personalized healthcare, allowing to make optimal use of the available information to improve patient care and well-being. So my mouse is okay. The current role of big data perceived in my company from my perception of the application of such revolutionary technologies and methodologies within the company where I work is still partial. In my experience as a technical facilitator of the use of such technologies, we still have to scratch the surface and enter a phase of systematization of such technologies, where the progressive application of them constitutes a progression to further and progressive advantage and to obtain consolidated improvement support for assistance and care activities, but also in administrative management and governance support, not only an impromptu project for the evolution of research, also if is excellent. it is also true that the application of such technologies must not obviously be an hand in itself. That is, they must not be applied for the sole fact of having them, without carefully evaluating the repercussion in terms of safety and privacy of the patient, of the clinical operator, and the company. But it is also appropriate to exploit such technologies in the best possible way, avoiding relative stigmatism and prejudice deriving perhaps from their partial knowledge. The key element that allowed us to take a step forward the management of big data and related project was the development of a data lake. In the hospital, I was tasked with developing in previous years a data warehouse that is still operational and essential, carries out purely administrative information task. An example is that it does not provide sufficient information to support the scientific research part, because the data is not retrieved in real time, and because the data is pre-treated, and this does not always meet the needs of the research. For this reason, in recent years, WeNeed has emerged to develop a data lake with the main purpose of collecting the information present in the hospital, very, very large and very huge information, with methods and technologies much more advanced than its predecessor, the data warehouse, that is still operational in real time and in original format, not with pre-treatment of the data, in order to provide information support initially to the research and subsequently to other areas of the hospital, such as the administrative part and even to clinical governance. The first experimental project born from the construction of the data lake was on rare disease, an internal project founded, and an internal project that saw the collaboration of the Health Directorate for the real-time collection of information regarding patients affected by rare disease, support for the development of medical scientific research in this area, the identification of more appropriate care pathways, and for the fulfillment of the information depth toward the numerous flows related to it. The project has a European scope because it is related to the European Reference Network, ERN, a national scope because the information is sent to the National Register of Rare Disease, and a regional scope because the aforementioned information is also sent to the Information System for Rare Disease Lazio, SIMARAL. In summary, the project saw the creation of an agreed dataset resulting from the recovery of 7 hospital applications, integrated with the recovery of information for the National Registry of Rare Disease. Since the purpose of the research for the creation of the useful dataset, it was necessary to have all national patients affected by rare disease and not only those who pass through our facilities. The corresponding model was prepared and released in the consumption zone of the data lake. Research in this project area is carried out by reading the data through an interactive dashboard updated in real time. Evaluation of improvement to the model and related to the automatic population of the above mentioned registry are currently underway. The second project, that is international project, was Accelerate, a project that was an example of how the data lake was fundamental for the development of the numerous models requested, and for which a lack a lack of engagement was found on the part of the technical function, hospital technical function, that was called only at the end of a long series of meetings within the company and with the International Project Commission, and following already established deadlines and deliverables not discussed with the functional, with the technical function, with the informative system. For this reason, since the data lake was not yet complete at the time, there was a wide discussion about whether to use the data lake or whether to retrieve the information from the individual vertical one by one and share them. This was not possible from the data warehouse because the query method did not allow the extraction of all the information requested and necessary. Fortunately, trust prevailed, and following the success of the project, the data lake was brought as an example of an enabling solution for such project, also by the scientific side, which the project was shared. The Accelerate project, we watch, in particular, the Engage for Pilot 3, concern the optimization of the provisioning of pediatric neuro-oncology services for patients affected by brain tumors and patient workflow. The goal is to significantly reduce the management times of patients affected by these pathologies and to improve the patient-staff relationship, the cost of associated clinical operation, the length of hospitalization, and the associated clinical health outcomes. The Federated Learning Project, with European founding Horizon 2020, saw the collaboration of 5 international hospitals around the world and 9 anonymized data models made available in a containerized virtual machine, made available for federated learning in a secure network, DMZ, and on the basis of which improvement metrics were defined to the scientific community level. The project was completed with the objectives and within the expected time frame already discussed, and everyone's satisfaction. The third ultimate project, also of international scope, was Eden, which followed the previous Accelerate project, which aims to improve the capacity to analyze observational health data for comparative research of the efficacy, safety, and use of drugs and medical treatments. The objective of generating insight and scientific evidence from real clinical data on a large scale is achieved by harmonizing the source health data with a common OMOP data model standardized on a large scale with a federated learning of 187 partners located in 29 different countries. The Eden project is also founded by Horizon 2020, and the management of the project activities had the operational advantage of using the same information sources prepared in the data lake for the Accelerate project. The methodological know-how of pipeline development and the greater trust of the research staff already involved in the previous project, who contribute directly, this is fundamental, to the preparation of the model. And this one is a snapshot of the project. The achievement of the objective involved the preparation of 9 enriched anonymized data model made available in the usual container in the usual containerized virtual machine, made available for federated learning in a secure network, always secure network, DMZ, and on the basis of which the training was carried out for the subsequent phase of determination of scientific evidence and its common exploitation by the associate scientific community. last. The challenge that I propose to myself as a technical solution promoter, facilitator in my company is certainly that of improving the organization of management of informatization and data science project in general. In this aspect, my colleagues and I believe a lot that is a better involvement of the technological function is necessary from the initial phases of the project, not wholly later as expectations are regularly created or requirements are defined that are difficult to achieve because they are established by people who are not properly competent in this technical aspect. The second challenge and successful improvement, the data lake framework with the current non-specific ETL system. We use actually a MIRT HL7 framework that is not a specialist product for the ETL.
Sorry, Fabio, to interrupt you. If you can just go.
Yes. I finished.
You're strict of time. Sorry.
Sorry to you, and in conclusion, given the undisputed usefulness of data and the need to exploit the safely and if the best possible way to use, I still detect a residual resistance to their use or rather to their correct use, not on the part of clinical colleagues and researchers who increasingly ask for their use, often without realizing the operational requirements and technological feasibility by observing exclusively the purpose of research or clinical, obviously, investigation, but on the part of management who've taken by other certain imperative needs, endorse the activity inherent to the different project, but then does not allow their extension or does not facilitate their systemic development, allowing the achievement of the expected project result, but not allowing the exploitation in a system of the result obtained that could become a plus for the company itself, not only for occasional research, although excellent, and from which subsequent and consequent result could be obtained more easily. The picture is a friendly communication. Let's not discover the wheel every time. The result of a project can be the starting point for a subsequent project. I thank you. Thank you. Sorry for my delay.
Thank you very much, Fabio. No problem. It was very, very, very interesting. Also, we have a comment in the chat because it was so interesting. So thank you a lot. So now let's see the last point of view of this webinar. So please, we are very welcome to introduce to you Matteo Favilli. Matteo Favilli is Senior Consultant in Strategy and Innovation in Deloitte Officina Innovazione and Open Innovation Advisor in Startup Green here and in Pisa Lucca chapter. Matteo is a senior consultant, as I said, in Deloitte Innovazione, with a background in innovation management here in Sant'Anna University of Pisa. And he has also international experience working in innovation advisory, emerging tech, and technology scouting for corporate and startups at the pharma, health tech, med tech, and biotech sector within the Silicon Valley, London, and European system. So Matteo, thank you very much for being with us today. So you have the consulting company perspective. In your opinion, what are the innovation trends of big data in healthcare and how many companies are adopting them? So please,
thank you very much.
Tell us.
So thank you, Mario, and thank you, Giulio, for this cycle of events. They're very insightful. As you said, I'm Senior Consultant in Strategy Innovation at Deloitte Officina Innovazione. Just a bit of background. Officina Innovazione is the innovation department of Deloitte, working in Europe, Italy, and Middle East. was founded in 2018, and we work on internal and open innovation projects with data methodologies for our clients with a team of already 100 professionals working on this. Particularly, I'm part of the life science and healthcare team. And today I want to bring you let's say a business perspective on big data. So I brought some trends inside that can be useful to understand the business side, as well as some challenges that healthcare actors are facing right now, and a methodology that we apply at Deloitte Officina Innovazione. Let's start some big data innovation trends in SN and healthcare that will shape probably the future of the industry. I selected some. First of all, there is an increase in data lifecycle management powers in healthcare. In fact, we see from our latest report on AI and big data that 75% of organizations are investing heavily in data lifecycle management to handle sensitive patient data and enable future scalability of AI innovation. Moreover, we saw a rise in predictive analytics and personalized medicine for proactive care. As you know, big data plays a critical role in enabling personalized medicine by allowing healthcare providers to predict patient outcomes and tailor treatments to individual patients. In fact, by analyzing large datasets, including genomic data, electronic health records, and real-time data from wearables, healthcare professionals in the future will be able to offer more accurate, personalized care for their patients, analyzing massive genomic datasets to identify genetic markers that influence treatment responses. We are also seeing an AI-driven acceleration in drug discovery. We are seeing a lot of investment from venture capital world, a lot of startups rising in AI drug discovery based on big data, and by analyzing the large datasets, the potential is to cut costs and speeding up the development of new therapies to improve patient lives. And then, in terms of advanced diagnostic and monitoring, we're seeing the close collaboration, increasing collaboration between the healthcare industry with the insurance industry, enabled by the use of amount of data that offer insurance the possibility to personalize insurance plan for patients. In terms of challenges that we are seeing when it comes to healthcare actors, we have first the fragmentation in patient data that is present in the sector. We, according to our latest report, 58% organizations also cite data privacy and security as concerns, as barriers to sharing information, but also we are looking for a challenge, which is the strong difficulty in the ability to scale big data solutions across and beyond the isolated project, with 68% of organizations reporting a concerning fact. 1/3 of the big data projects have never moved to full-scale production. There is a barrier to innovation to become and to grow into broader clinical practice and become a standard of care. Another challenge that we are seeing is that there are missing opportunities using big data for emerging trends and therapies. Companies, healthcare operators, they don't know how to use this data to anticipate technology, to anticipate therapeutic trends, and bring innovations for patients and improving their outcomes. But then, and this is the last challenge, but I want to stress it a lot, there is limited collaboration of stakeholders across the healthcare ecosystem. In fact, the collaboration among startups, healthcare providers, research institutions, university, larger corporations like pharma is still insufficient. And this is limiting strongly the ability to fully unlock the big data's potential to drive innovation and improve patient outcomes. Instead, collaborating will bring these healthcare actors to share efforts, to share resources, data to improve patient outcomes. So we are focusing on this limited collaboration, and to handle this issue, we have this methodology, this project that we do every year. It's like the Health Tech and Biotech Accelerator, which is a client venturing program for the life science and healthcare. It's an international program focused on scouting the most promising health and biotech startups to meet the needs of partners of the accelerator and improve patient lives. So basically, what do? We bring at the same table different healthcare actors collaborating on all together, sharing the resources, sharing their efforts to bring value to the patients. And especially when it comes to big data, this is very crucial. It's very critical to have all together collaborating on the same goal, improving patient outcomes. Some data, we had more than 2,500 engaged startups over the last 4 editions, 20+ partners coming from different parts of the healthcare ecosystem collaborating all together, 14 pilot launches, 7 scale-up deals. So we help them even to scale the solution, the big data solution that they developed. Just to give you some idea of partners, this from the 4th edition, we have insurers, we have private hospital group, we have life science actor, private hospital, startups, investor, research partner, university, all together with the same common goal. Sharing the efforts on big data to deliver patient solution, patient innovation to improve their lives. So some data about the past editions. In terms of innovation trend, you can see from the 3rd edition, we have advanced diagnostic and digital health and prevention as the major innovation trends, which were the focus of the partner and focus on the startups. We help them from scouting to develop a pilot altogether, collaborating, sharing efforts to improve patient outcome, to deliver innovation which can affect and bring positive outcomes to all the ecosystem actors involved in the program. I brought you also like an example of a pilot project that we developed last year with a leading Italian private hospital group and an innovative startup. This private hospital group was looking to some remote cardiac monitoring solution, and we identified some startups. We developed this pilot project all together to bring inside the hospital practice a standard of care, an innovative device for the detection of atrial fibrillation in combination with advanced AI platforms. The pillars of this pilot project with the startup were the telemonitoring, where we were looking for a solution for a complete cardiac health monitoring experience to enter with the data of the hospital to improve the experience of both patients and physicians, but also prevention, as we improve the healthcare provider's ability to prevent acute events, giving actionable insight from the device and the advanced AI platform. And another pillar of this pilot project was the interoperability, which was mentioned by some of the other speakers today. So we were able together to integrate the device and the AI platform and the implemented solution inside the hospital IT infrastructure with all the security, privacy, and regulation aspects that you might know. In terms of the pilot, what we did was to set up the KPI, the goal, the clinical guideline definition, but also set up for the pilot, deployment, and the testing of the solution with a set of patients till the partnership and commercial agreement that allow the solution to become not just a prototype, but a scalable solution for the patients of the hospital, improving in the end the outcomes and the monitoring that they might have. Just to close up this part, I hope it was interesting. I think that to fully unlock the transformative potential of big data, an ecosystem approach like the Health and Biotech Accelerator, for example, is essential. In fact, by fostering collaboration among healthcare providers, startups, biotech companies, research institutions, university, insurers, healthcare providers, we can create a connected network where data flows seamlessly. This collaboration, in fact, is key to ensuring that big data solutions lead to real impactful improvements in patient outcomes and healthcare efficiency. In fact, only through this united ecosystem, we can maximize the opportunity that big data offers, not only for the future of healthcare, not only for the future of innovation, but also for the improvement of patient outcomes and in the end of their lives. I'm open to any question from the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Matteo. What an amazing presentation. You always surprise me with your outstanding, let's say, slides, and also the contents were also very, very nice one. But also the contents when the topic discussed by the other two speakers are very, very, let's say, insightful. So I have actually so many curiosities, questions, but let's please read because we are short of time. So let's read a few questions that people has written in the chat. So let me scroll the chat. We have a question for Roberto Trasarti. So what are the main challenges of big data in healthcare beyond data privacy? I know that Matteo Favilli covered this topic right now by adding some, let's say, ingredients in the answer. So, for example, I remember the problem of scaling up, no? Which is very, very difficult. I don't know, Roberto, if you want to add something on this, or you think that we touched the right, the hot issues of big data challenges in healthcare.
Yes, we touched
You're mute. You're mute.
No,
Nope.
Fabio.
No, we can hear you.
Can hear you well.
Okay.
Okay. I'll try to be as short as possible. We touched it with the wonderful speech of my colleagues. And I think that something that I can add very shortly is the fact that data quality, consistency, and the data interpretation is another aspect that it's really important, because when we speak about big data, we imagine a wonderful gold mine, but actually the find the gold in the middle of all the data, it's pretty difficult. And especially on health data, the contextualization of the data that we manage is really important to understand what we are really discovering. And so if the algorithm that we build, the result that we obtain are biased, or let's say not completely representing the reality of, because the context maybe is not well cleaned or defined. I leave space for other questions.
Thank you, Roberto. So there is another question from Engineer Giuseppe Simone. Question for Fabio, but we are short of time, so I'm gonna read it, and we are gonna have a very, 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 very short answer. So I have always believed that, especially during the amnestic phase, human factors are very important, both on the part of the patient and the doctor. How can these behaviors, intuitions, and social practices be translated into data? So how do we manage this data to achieve the same result as humans? Well, the questions that probably sometimes require probably a philosophical answer, but anthropological one, I don't know. So probably Mark Cote will be of help here, but I will allow Fabio to answer this question. And of course, if Roberto and Matteo want to jump in from their perspective, they are pleased to join. But no, this is not, there is no a good right answer, I think.
I thank you, Giuseppe. That's the wonderful question. I have no the answer, but I think that the machine not substitute the human aspect, the professional of a doctor, or of a nurse, of a clinical operator. The people are fundamental in this process. The machine can only support to suggest an intuition that is the result of an analysis or an algorithm analysis of much more data than the people don't know. Then I think that the people are first in the process and remain at the first place in the process. We can only support the specialist with a machine, with a service that help them in their works. That is fundamental. Thank you, Giuseppe. Wonderful question.
Yes, I do agree with you, Fabio. Actually, I think a few days ago, I read, for example, a news from about a doctor who was making an operation from Paris to Seoul in remote way. But I mean, the robot was doing what the human say what to do. So I mean, they are not replacing the can let me augment, enhance humans' capacities, can be of help, but they will never, well, at the current stage, they will never substitute humans. So I think I mean we could actually discuss for hours about these topics because they're so engaging, so insightful, and so good. So, but unfortunately, as you know, this is a webinar where we want to give you a shot of big data. So therefore, we have to close this session right now. But before we close, let me thanks again one more time our outstanding speakers. So thanks Roberto Trasarti, Fabio Liberti, and Matteo Favilli. I personally learned a lot today about big data in healthcare, and I think that also other people who joined us today could say the same thing. And let me also say that was possible only because of the SoBigData research infrastructure. So a big thank to the SoBigData research infrastructure for letting me organize this webinar. Also thank to Maria Giulia for helping me to organize this episode and this episode. But remember, the cycle of webinars does not conclude here. Let me remind you that there are other webinars, so where we are going to discuss the role of big data in other sectors. So in October 30, we are going to discuss the role of big data for marketing and tourism. On November 20, we'll talk about big data and in the media and entertainment. And in the 11th of December, we'll discuss the role of big data in economy, in finance. So please save this data in your calendar because we are preparing something very, very special for you. But so we are going to involve also very top managers of big companies, but I cannot tell you more, okay? So we will, so let's see each other next time. We'll discuss about data tourism and marketing. Of course, let me remind you that the link will be the same. And for those of you who joined us very late today, you can always visit the SoBigData YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube and you type SoBigData, the channel of the SoBigData research infrastructure will appear. Please make a like and follow us. And you can, and because there you can find so many good videos produced by all the researchers involved in this very outstanding, amazing research infrastructure. And you can also watch the recorded video of today episode, but also of the previous episodes. So thank you all for attending this webinar and have a lovely rest of the day. Look forward to see you again soon.